Across the world, archaeologists have uncovered remarkable artifacts that bring forgotten civilizations back to life. Each discovery, from delicate jewelry to ancient instruments, tells a story of belief, artistry, and survival, allowing us to glimpse the lives and cultures of people long gone. In 2004, archaeologists working at the ancient site of Tel el-Mara in Syria made a discovery that could change our understanding of the origins of written language. Inside a tomb, they uncovered a set of inscribed cylinders that scholars now believe may represent the earliest known alphabet in human history. Dated to around 2400 BCE, these artifacts predate the Phoenician alphabet and other early scripts by nearly 5 centuries. Until this find, it was commonly believed that writing systems in this period were dominated by hieroglyphic or cuneiform symbols, which often required hundreds of characters to record complex ideas. The cylinders, however, showed a simplified system consisting of roughly 20 to 30 unique characters, making them far easier to learn and use. This development suggests an intentional shift from complicated pictographs toward a phonetic writing style that could be applied more broadly across trade, governance, and daily communication. Scholars have argued that such a system would have been revolutionary for record-keeping and storytelling, potentially laying the groundwork for all later alphabets. One of the longest continuously occupied sites in prehistoric Europe was uncovered in Serbia, where archaeologists revealed evidence of a thriving settlement stretching from around 6100 BCE to 1000 BCE. Excavations exposed the remains of homes, work areas, and ritual spaces that together painted a vivid picture of daily life in Neolithic Europe. Among the artifacts, one object stood out above all others: a delicately carved pendant made from nephrite, a stone resembling jade. Dating to around 5600 BCE, the pendant was shaped in a way that scholars interpret as resembling a frog or amphibian figure. Frogs, with their life cycle of transformation and association with water, were often linked to fertility and childbirth in early symbolic traditions, and it is believed this pendant may have been used in rituals connected to maternity or the protection of mothers. The settlement itself revealed not only artistic and spiritual practices, but also advanced forms of trade, craftsmanship, and domestic organization. In the region near Zakorak, Croatia, excavations unearthed burial mounds dating to the 4th century BCE that contained a wealth of artifacts, including grave goods, skeletal remains, and one particularly striking object, a remarkably intact Greco-Illyrian helmet. This helmet, with its characteristic rounded dome and open-faced design, exemplified the style of military gear used by warriors across the Greek and Illyrian worlds. Its presence in the burial mound not only points to the martial status of the individual interred there, but also reveals the extent of cultural interaction and exchange across the Adriatic. The burial site was carefully constructed, suggesting a strong social hierarchy in which warrior elites were afforded special honors in death. Alongside the helmet were found other items such as weapons, ornaments, and pottery, all of which reflected both local traditions and foreign influences. In Provadia, Bulgaria, a major salt production center of the ancient world, archaeologists uncovered a ritual burial pit that contained one of the most enigmatic finds linked to the Scythians, the nomadic horse-riding people who once dominated the Eurasian steppes. Among the remains lay a carved bone scepter adorned with the imagery of an eagle, a powerful symbol associated with authority, vision, and the spiritual world. The scepter was buried alongside the body of a warrior, his horse, his loyal dog, and even a turtle, suggesting a funerary ritual imbued with symbolic meaning and possibly beliefs in an afterlife where these companions would serve him again. Dating to the 5th or 4th century BCE, this discovery underscores both the material wealth and the spiritual traditions of the Scythians. The choice of eagle imagery hints at their connection to sky deities or shamanic practices, while the deliberate inclusion of animals emphasizes the importance of loyalty and kinship beyond death. During construction work on modern fortifications in Ukraine, soldiers made an unexpected discovery that tied their efforts to those of ancient peoples: a Corinthian amphora buried as part of a grave. Dating to between the 6th and 5th centuries BCE, this vessel had been carefully placed as part of funerary rites. reflecting a long-standing Greek practice of using amphorae in burials and rituals. Amphorae, typically used to transport goods like oil, wine, and grain, took on symbolic roles in death, representing sustenance for the journey to the afterlife, or marking the deceased's ties to trade and wealth. The discovery of such an artifact, so far from Corinth, points to the wide-ranging networks of exchange that connected the Greek world with the Black Sea region. It also suggests that Greek cultural influence extended deep into the area, shaping local practices and beliefs. At Claterna, a city often described as the Pompeii of the North because of how its ruins remained buried and preserved, archaeologists have unearthed a treasure that speaks to both the wealth and sophistication of its people. Among the discoveries were engraved gems, finely cut and polished, which would have been used as decorative jewelry or as seals for important documents. More striking was the sheer volume of coinage recovered, over 3,000 pieces, demonstrating Claterna's role as a thriving center of trade and finance. Among these, one rare coin dating back to 97 BCE stood out, depicting winged victory, a symbol of triumph and Roman expansion. This coin, rare even in the empire's vast catalogue of minted currency, suggests not only the wealth of the settlement, but also its direct connections to the political and cultural heartbeat of Rome itself. In Shanxi province, deep within a Zhou dynasty cemetery, archaeologists discovered something both delicate and intimate: bronze cosmetic boxes still containing residue from an ancient skin-whitening cream. Dating back roughly 2,700 years, this find predates the well-documented cosmetic traditions of the Romans and reveals the surprising antiquity of beauty practices in East Asia. The cream, analyzed by researchers, contained traces of substances used to lighten skin, an indication of the cultural value placed on pale complexions in early Chinese society. In the Sharon region of modern-day Israel, excavations brought to light 4 bronze discs adorned with the striking motif of lion heads. These objects, though seemingly small, carried great symbolic weight in Roman society. They were used as coffin handles, their craftsmanship and imagery suggesting they were part of the burial rites for an individual of high status, possibly a local leader or a Roman official stationed in the province. The lions, embodiments of strength and guardianship, would have served as protectors of the deceased in the afterlife, a pagan ritual deeply embedded in Roman funerary tradition. Dating back nearly 1,100 years, these artifacts not only highlight Roman presence in the region, but also reflect the blending of local burial customs with imperial practices. In South Moravia, archaeologists uncovered the fragment of a small bronze purse, worn not at the hip as one might expect, but strapped to the left wrist. This ingenious piece of equipment, dating between 172 and 180 CE, belonged to a Roman soldier or officer stationed in a temporary military camp at the frontier. The purse was designed to carry up to 50 silver denarii, the standard pay of Rome's legions, allowing the soldier to keep his wealth close at hand while marching or fighting. Its placement on the wrist meant it was secure, less likely to be stolen or lost in the chaos of movement. This small object, though humble compared to grand monuments or mosaics, offers a rare window into the personal lives of Rome's military machine. Beneath the waters off Cartagena, Spain, the Ses Fontinialis shipwreck has preserved a bustling moment of Roman commerce frozen in time. Discovered in 2019, the vessel carried hundreds of amphorae, large ceramic jars designed for the transport of foodstuffs across the Mediterranean. Analysis revealed they once held fish sauce, olive oil, and fruit, staples of Roman trade and diet. Each amphora was carefully crafted for durability on long voyages, and remarkably, archaeologists identified a new type among the cargo, now called Se Fontinialis I, in honor of the wreck. These amphorae reveal the sheer scale of Rome's trade networks, linking provincial Spain with markets across the empire, from Italy to North Africa and the Near East. The ship itself, lost to the sea in the 4th century CE, demonstrates not only the economic vitality of the later empire, but also the risks of maritime trade. A breathtaking masterpiece of Anglo-Saxon craftsmanship, the Alfred jewel was commissioned by King Alfred the Great as both a practical tool and a symbol of divine learning. Fashioned from gold, rock crystal, and enamel, the jewel likely served as a pointer for reading sacred texts, helping readers follow lines in illuminated manuscripts. Its dragon-shaped handle and central figure, possibly Christ in majesty or a personification of wisdom, reflect Alfred's dedication to education and the Christian faith during his reign. During an excavation in a desert cemetery, archaeologists uncovered ebony pendants carefully wrapped and placed with the remains of women and children. The blackwood figurines, carved into human shapes, are rare examples of Christian funerary practice in the region. Their preservation and deliberate placement suggest deep symbolic meaning, possibly protective charms or markers of faith for desert-dwelling Christian communities navigating both harsh environments and cultural crossroads. Among the archives at Boğazköy, the Hittite capital, scholars discovered a clay tablet referencing a Western war that strongly echoes the legendary fall of Troy. Written in cuneiform, the text contains songs and laments about a siege that resemble passages later immortalized in Homer's Iliad. This discovery hints that the Trojan War may not have been pure myth, but a remembered conflict recorded by neighboring powers centuries before Greek poets reimagined it in epic form. At the Sangay Çakmak site, archaeologists uncovered a simple yet astonishing artifact, a flute carved from the wing bone of a large bird. With 5 precisely drilled holes, the instrument demonstrates the musical sophistication of early farming communities in Neolithic Iran. Its existence suggests that music was not merely entertainment, but perhaps a ritual or communal practice that bound early agricultural societies together through rhythm, song, and shared tradition.